for me, a rating, give it a 7.5 out of 10. It was a good game. I like the story. Like genuinely all of that, disregarding when I think about the actual negatives of the game, which I'll go into in a second. That's a separate thing. I would give this game a 7.5 out of 10, just based on the positives, what I thought about it. What I didn't like about this game, I mentioned this multiple times throughout the actual like playing of this, is I did not like the checkpoints. Checkpoints are probably the most frustrating things because like I would get to like probably 95% of the mission of where I needed to get up to, or like 95% of that part that I needed to get up to the checkpoint, and then I would die, and then I have to go all the way back to the beginning of the checkpoint, sometimes restarting like multiple times on parts that would take like 5 minutes or more to actually get through. So it was a kind of a pain in the ass to edit down some of these videos. Another thing I didn't like was the lack of direction. So like, you know, there's multiple times, I'm sure you could skip to any one of these videos, besides this one. It's pretty clear and obvious in this one. As I was going through the missions, there weren't any waypoints or like any like markers or directives to actually like follow. So I would know what I'd have to do for the mission, but how exactly the mission got done, like where I had to go specifically, that wasn't outlined on the map. And matter of fact, there just wasn't a map. But I mean, there was a map, but it wasn't like something you could pop up and then like zoom in on. So it was kind of confusing and at points frustrating to be able to get through certain parts of the game, or most of the game actually, without having to worry about the issues of like, where do I have to go? And you know, so adding on the checkpoint issue and that, I would give it a 6.5 or maybe a 7 just to be solid. It didn't really bug me that much because typically when I judge a game, I judge it based on the playability of the actual game. So for example, like, is the game actually able to play and doesn't crash every 15 minutes like Saints Row Day 1 Edition. Based on everything that I've seen and played here in Mindseye for the last 14 episodes up until this one, I'd give it a 7, just a straight 7.